What up, lads? Think it's about time I buy a cowboy hat because we're in for another rodeo, another stint for racism here in South African esports. This time, it comes from the Fortnite ZA community. Before we get into it, I'm sure people coming from the Fortnite ZA community have no idea who I am, so let me just give you the quick rundown and summary here. My name is Kamal, and I've been doing things in esports for like more than 3 years now. I've done a lot, but also not that much. Don't think my resume is too important here, but have a listen to what I have to say and you can make some judgments on what you think yourselves. So the reason we're talking here today is that we have two situations arising yesterday as time of recording for this. We have a guy by the name of Yannick Meyer getting caught saying a K word on footage. Like there's a clip of it. If you go over on Twitter, Fortnite ZA, you'll find a clip of this guy saying that. So he uses the K word straight up. Proof of the thing, he admits it in multiple tweets and such, which he deleted and then tweeted again and all that stuff. So yeah, he said and did this thing. And then there was another situation where an anonymous account tweeted that some other guy named Tony from a client called 5D Gaming also, well, he said the N-word in the clip, but that doesn't really tell the full story because it was like some proper white supremacist shit there. Like, yo, it was bad. It was bad. So that's just the summary of those two situations. I'm not going to be talking about, I'm not showing the clips because they're fucking abhorrent. I don't want my channel to get removed in fucking YouTube or some shit. And I also don't think that like, for me, these things are pretty cut and dry. Like, I don't think there's much conversation around it. Like, I don't think you need any more explanation than what I just said, right? So, basically, the video is not actually about these two instances themselves, but more community response, which is the far more, we'll use the word, interesting thing. So, yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. First form of community response I saw about this Yannick situation with him clearly using the K word is that the first point of conversation was not about the people who is harmed by this word, the fact that racism is so rampant in the community and we shouldn't accept it, or those that was not the discussion point by many. Let's say there's been a lot of good community figures in the Fortnite ZA scene, which I have a lot of respect for. But the first point of conversation I saw around this fucking thing was, and this is a buzzword in Fortnite ZA, it seems, is cancel culture. I looked at this thing, I looked at the situation, and I was like, what does cancel culture have to do with the situation? I'm genuinely asking you because I don't look at it as cancel culture in this situation. In fact, cancel culture, just in general, in day-to-day life in the moment, is a very much a fucking buzzword, which is just thrown around in the silliest of instances in so many ways. But in this instance, is it cancel culture, friends? For somebody who's using a word that is a jailable fucking offense in South Africa to get reprimanded on Twitter, is that cancel culture? That somebody who could go to jail for saying something is getting reprimanded now on Twitter, and you guys are crying about cancel culture. Listen, this guy Yannick, I don't know what part again he plays in the scene as a random fucking guy who's on YouTube and friends with people and donates money. So I don't know what exact punishment can happen to a guy like this. Not like he's competing in tournaments for bans or whatever. Like, so I don't know if you can get banned or anything like that. But in terms of just getting a fucking Twitter slap on the wrist, that ain't cancel culture, motherfuckers. I would love to call it accountability, but again, he should be going to jail if he was, I think he's from Namibia, so different context, but if he was in South Africa and using this word, if we pushed hard enough, this motherfucker could end up in jail. And for good reason. Open a history book and look at the context of South Africa. There's great reason why we shouldn't be saying this word. Like, hello, why is this still up for debate with you guys? Like, I don't know. Every time this shit happens in esports that, oh no, there's this one saying, oh, it's not that bad, or like there's so many comments about this, about, oh no, he apologized, he did this, he did that. Well, let's give you guys a laugh here and actually look at his apology, because there's so many of you out here saying, oh, he apologized, he did this, he did that. We can't judge a guy from one. Well, then let's look at what the man has to say himself about the instance. And this apology, I'm going to hype it up before I put it on the screen here, is genuinely the worst fucking thing I've ever seen. And I've seen some dumb shit before. So yeah, it's up on the screen now. Have a look. This is what Mr. Wraith has to say for his behavior. This is his first tweet he put out, which he deleted, and then he made 100 other apologies, which he then deleted, and then he made more apologies, which he also deleted. But again, let's look at first response. The one that he was like, he saw this thing came up, and he's like, let me just go tweet this thing out, go quickly. This is my first instant reaction. This is what he tweeted. To be honest, I have many black friends. We talk about it all the time. If Fortnite wants to start cuck, apparently being reprimanded for being a fucking racist is now starting cuck. I didn't know that. Learned something there today. I don't really care, which we'll find out in half a line. That is a lie also. All I do is help with donations, etc. But aware, I'll dig a grave right now on YouTube Live, and his name in Twitter is I'll go kill myself. I'm pointing the wrong way. Whatever. Okay. Alright, so first things first, dog. You should go check into therapy because you are clearly not right in the head. If you want to go kill yourself because you are facing 5% accountability for your fucked up actions, then you are not okay. Go to a therapist, take all that money you donate to children for playing Fortnite and go to therapy. Also tell your therapist you're a fucking racist also. Maybe they can help you, you know? I mean, there's so many bad things here. The fucking trope, I have black friends, this guy used. Like, I can't actually think of a worse fucking way to apologize. This is the dumbest shit I've ever seen, right? So, this is the apology that y'all are saying now. Let me just take this off the screen before I lose all my brain cells. Oops. That you guys are saying, no, he apologized. It's okay. It's fine now, right? And I saw a lot of y'all saying this. Some people from very big teams, which we'll get into shortly. Y'all are saying he apologized, it's fine, right? And maybe it goes for the other guy that we're getting to as well when you pop screenshots and stuff there. Firstly, I want to ask you, what makes you fuckers think you are an authority to decide what should and shouldn't be done? Like, oh, it's fine now, or oh, he shouldn't get banned, or oh, it's just cancel culture. Like, be honest. Like, most of you commenting that shit are probably like 15 to 18-year-old white kids. From your responses alone, we know you don't know what the fuck racism actually is, nor do you understand the severity of a word like the K word or saying the white supremacist shit Tony said. So why the fuck do you all think you can tell people who are harmed by this shit what they should feel? They should just let it go. They should relax. There shouldn't be punishment. Oh, he apologized. It's fine. Motherfucker, he ain't apologizing to you guys. Or he ain't apologizing to anybody with that dumb statement of his. But why do you think that you now can say this to anybody? Like, this shit ain't okay, right? And it's not like y'all in the Fortnite scene didn't have leadership, because if we look at this screenshot by Mr. Wraith, I don't think there was anything more that needed to be said in the Fortnite ZA community. I genuinely don't. You have a person of color, a black person who's actually affected by the language that Mr. fucking Yannick used, and he makes a pretty damn good statement here. Let me just make it a bit bigger on the OBS while I'm recording. Okay, I don't care what you say. Everybody supporting Yannick Meyer is in the same boat as him. The fact that he has said it once means that the one is in his vocabulary, and he has already said it obviously more than once. That word has a huge negative connotation, and many blacks are afraid to say it. The situation can be compared to, but just because Dubs didn't get cancelled, even though people tried to, doesn't mean we should just let him slide. The K word is banned in SA, so the difference in severity in words is incomparable. There's no mistake in being that fucking racist. Okay, I added some swear words there. But this is exactly it. This right here is exactly the point, right? If you defending a racist, the word for, like, actually, when you do nothing in times of racism, the word for that is tacit racism. You're sitting there, having a smoke, having a drink, chilling, while racism is going on right in front of your fucking eyes, and you chilled with it. They call that tacit racism. But what you guys are doing, sitting there saying, oh no, it's okay, you apologize, this, that is actual fucking racism. Like, if you defending a racist, you aiding the fucking cause of racism, that is racism. Unfucking disputedly. Go open a history book, go do some Google searches, go watch some YouTube content, go follow some woke people on Twitter. You would learn Like, there's so many resources at this point. You can't really feign ignorance anymore. Even though a lot of you are, unfortunately, you still have, like, Fortnite ZA is young. You have an opportunity to go and learn about this stuff. But again, to what Aslam was saying, let me just put up the screenshot again, is that if you're friends with this guy, you're definitely still a racist. What he's saying also is that, Wraith is Aslam, by the way, is that it doesn't just happen by accident. You just slip and fall into the K word. Like, what the hell? It's such a, like, I don't just one K word. That doesn't fucking happen. And the funniest thing about that whole argument about, oh, he used this word once and now he's getting destroyed and whatever, is that there's a clip like 5 minutes later that got posted of him doing it in another instance. Like, no fucking remorse or anything like that. This community figure, to use your guys' lingo, should be fucking cancelled. Like, there's no debate about it, right? Because, again, you don't just slip and use language like that. That's part of your everyday vocabulary. The reason that you're using a word like that as a slur for people to be dumb or this or that is racist thinking in its first right. There's so many layers to this shit that, like, I don't know why I still have to explain this. I'm not even a good person to explain this because I'm not that smart. I work in the fucking gaming industry. None of us are. Like, if you want to get actual fucking content on the stuff, go read books and things. Like, we shouldn't have to, you shouldn't, the first point of entry to this discussion should not be from some fucking 2K MMR YouTuber. Like, come on. Like, for me, this, but now that's enough of, me dribbling on about, oh, this is what this one said, that one said, community, wada. Let's look at what people actually fucking said. So, you all know that big Fortnite org, The Punishers? Let's look at what they have to say. Various members from there. So the first one is, this is why all, by Punisher's Day or whatever his name is, this is why all sensitive matters should be sorted out privately. What he did was wrong, and he should be held responsible for it. But at the same time, he should be handled very sensitively, as it's a very sensitive topic. There's more stuff, more buts from this guy. Here's another instance from another one of their players saying, oh wait, I shared the wrong screenshot first. Let's show the other one. Here we go. There we go. But what he did was wrong, but cancel culture is still bad. Here's another one from him that I think I showed like half a second earlier, where it's like, away, imagine your 3 worst seconds of your life defines your life and everyone's impression of you. So we're seeing many responses from Team Punisher here. And the common theme between all of them is this term, but. Let's get this taken care of. There is no but with fucking racism. And it's not like, again, like, there's so many layers to racism, guys. But this case here is like the most clear-cut, cut and dry bullshit I've ever seen on so many levels. From what he said, to his bad apologies, to his stupid tweets after that, to his whole, the entire process, to him attention seeking to try and make it seem like he wants to kill himself and shit. There's, on so many levels, this is the, like, most abhorrent, clear-cut thing we've ever seen. And if you guys are still using buts for this shit, y'all are fucking racist. Beyond just being racist, y'all don't give a shit about racism whatsoever. Because here's another tweet by the Punishers about, oh, a bit of confusion here. Yannick is not part of the Punishers team. I'm seeing comments of people saying he is, so I'm just clearing things up. This is what these people care about. Just look at the tone. It's like, okay, no, it's bad, but cancel culture. Or, oh no, it's bad, but remember, your whole life can be ruined in 3 seconds. Or, oh no, they don't even pretend in the last one where the org is tweeting, Hachi is tweeting, oh no, they're just not part of our org, guys. Just don't make that mistake. What you guys care about is not racism. What you all care about is yourselves. You guys are fucking scared of cancel culture, or scared you're gonna be slipped up in a clip one day and then gonna be fucking on the timeline like all these people. And that's fine, okay? That's alright. That's your fucking prerogative, boys. But don't now come say, oh no, we care about racism. We don't need that disingenuous shit here. Like, fuck it. Like, people of color in the scene have to deal with enough. We don't need you fake motherfuckers trying to pretend to care about shit when y'all really are just full of shit. And I don't know what else to say. Like, there's no beating around the bush. Like, what are you guys doing, right? And again, I don't think what you guys are saying is cancelable stuff or whatever y'all will cry about and scared of. But I don't know who owns this Punisher team. I heard it's a mom and pop org from Namibia. Hachi's part of management and stuff. And like, listen, I don't know if y'all are like old white people from Namibia. Maybe y'all are racist yourself. Maybe you're not. Maybe y'all are pretty woke. But your current representation of your org from these three gentlemen is not fucking great. This is not a good look for Punisher's org. If I was a sponsor, I would not want to put 1 cent behind you. In fact, I'd be phoning people to say like, no, this ain't the ones. So I don't know if that should be the defining characteristic of your org. I mean, up to you now how you're going to respond. If you're a mom and pop org, don't know that much about racism and stuff, do what old Warren did from ATK, since he didn't know fuck all about this. Go hire somebody to talk to them. We know Scant was the guy who ran an ethics workshop for ATK Arena and all day players and their ownership. It's a thing that can happen. Like, great move from them there. Y'all could do something similar. But yeah, all about how you're going to respond to this, because right now it's dismal. But don't worry, Punisher's family. Y'all are not the only people who fuck things up during this process again. So the next big org or community figure or whatever you want to call it, we're going to be talking about is Anarchy Gaming and Luka Rakic. So before I even get to this, I don't really feel like I don't want to do this segment because I don't want to be fucking shitting on some 18-year-old kid. But at the same time, this 18-year-old kid is fucking 18 now and saying dumb shit. So here we go. Let's look at his first tweet. Here's it up here. Reading it's hard. I don't condone anything he said, and he was completely wrong. But just imagine you in his situation right now. Like, just go check his Twitter name as well. Hate cancel culture. Okay, more buzzwords being thrown around. Okay, Mr. Luka Rakic, this is your first response to the thing. Now, maybe you would have an angle to play it and be like, listen here, I don't condone this behavior or whatever, but like, I really hate cancel culture, and you don't like the internet hate mobs and all of them. Maybe there's arguments to be made maybe there in life. But if your first response is, I don't condone, and then 100 fucking things you say about cancel culture, you don't actually give a shit about the racism. And your next couple of tweets don't help with that, because already you also same boat as the Punisher's kid. But I don't whatever. But again, we've made it very clear in this video so far, there's no fucking buts for racism, especially these instances. Like, I don't know what more to emphasize, that it's like, this is not low tier racism, this is like fucking peak tier, like Champions Division 8 for you in Fortnite speaks level racism, you know? That's fucking terrible. And this is your first thing you tweeted, yeah, this thing that I showed, right? This was part 1. Let's look at some other things you said. So when your community figures that do know what the fuck they're talking about with racism, because clearly you don't know what you are talking about, like Mr. Wraith Aslam, a fucking black person who has been called this stuff before, trying to explain to you the situation. You argue with him so far to question, were you called that word? Like, this is your level of ignorance, sir. It's that fucking dismal to ask somebody, a grown person of color, a black person, have they been called? And let me just fix you up here again. It's not a word, sir. It's a racial fucking slur. Big difference. Okay is a word. Hi is a word. Fuck you is 2 words. But K-word, that's a racial slur, friend. So the fact that you ask him this already shows you don't know anything about racism or maybe life in general yet. And you gotta check your privilege, bro. You can't be saying things like that. So again, now it's 2 tweets in the same saga that you don't know what you're doing. The next one is even more disappointing. And this next tweet makes it even worse for you, because look at what you say here. There are so many racists I can expose right now, but why would I? These words are horrible. Again, motherfucker, it ain't a word, it's a racial slur, a jailable offense, racial slur. Get your vocabulary right here, bro, since that's the what you went with earlier. I hate racism with my heart, but I hate how one slip up, one thing can just ruin everything from you. Well, if you watch this far in the video, Mr. Rakit, you would know racism ain't just one fucking slip up, right? It is a whole mentality. It's an upbringing. It's a fucking societal thing. So no, it isn't just one slip up. And even your whole line about one slip up is wrong. There was another clip posted of this guy saying the same thing, like another racial slur, 5 minutes fucking later, dog. Like, yo, so many things wrong here. So many things wrong here, right? Now, that's just the second part that I'm critiquing. The first part is even worse. There are so many racists I can expose right now, but why would I? Why would you, Luca? You openly admitting now on Twitter, you keep crying about cancel culture and this and that because giving people bad images and all that shit. But you doing this for yourself now. You openly saying you defending racist, multiple racists you can expose right now. But instead, you rather sit on it because racism just isn't that big a deal for you, which we get. You're an 18-year-old white kid. Why should it fucking matter to you? But you still here pretending that it does. And then you're gonna go, you give another sad speech here. Oh, it's so sad, bro, a life lost and all that shit. Dog, that is such a disingenuous move by Yannick that I'm not gonna say you fall for, but you're playing into the trope of, oh, now he's gonna kill himself. For what? For saying and doing the wrong thing and having some accountability? No, nobody does that shit. Like what? But you're pushing that narrative as well. So again, this is a few things. And the sad thing, I'm not done with screenshot with you, Luca. Like, hey, it keeps on going. It keeps on going. Let's go to the next one. And now, Luca, what you say in DMs makes the shit even worse for you now. Because, again, here's the screenshot. Posting this thing. Now it's live on the thing. Let's go through this entire screenshot. Bro, I'm going to be honest with you. If you want to expose people for certain things, it's fine. But if you expose someone for the K word, it looks really bad. It looks really hard for you to make a brand for yourself. No teams or proper sponsors will want to play with you. I mean, work with you, and no one in the com is going to trust you. But you do you. So this was a conversation between Luca and Zinc, Mr. Zinc, the guy who posted the video of Yannick. Now, from a certain extent, we haven't spoken about Yannick yet, but let's talk about him for 2 minutes here. Sorry, not Yannick. Obviously, we've spoken about him. About Zinc yet, the guy who posted the initial clip. Because initially, I was a bit taken aback. I had a lot of respect for him from the get-go because he did it on his own account. He went on his own thing and said, guys, listen here, this is what happened. Which is much better than what I saw in the Dota scene where Oak's just using like anonymous accounts to fuck people over and stuff. But I still wasn't completely sure. So I spoke with Zinc myself. I heard what he had to say. I think it was coming from a decent place that he's trying to expose to people. He really did have an issue with racism. That's my read. Maybe you all have a different read, but that's fine. And then he was telling me this conversation that he had with Luca. Now, from what Zinx did, the way he got this clip of Yannick, he was basically playing games with him. And because he knows this guy has a reputation for racism, and he's always seen it, he was like, okay, he's going to play with his clipping software on this time. And if he catches him, it's going to go viral because he has an issue with it. Now, I wouldn't do that myself because I think that's like a bit of a betrayal of trust. Like you're playing with your friends and this and that. But I don't know their relationship. I don't know anything. Even though I think his actions from that sense is wrong and I wouldn't do it. I think in the grand scheme, on a political sense, probably right because he's actually exposing a racist. But I could see an argument being made where, I'm going to be honest, if Luca went and told him, listen, yeah, you can't just do that and just like try blackmail somebody like that and all that. You know what? Fair game. I wouldn't be complaining about a DM. But here's my fucking issue. Because we saw, Luca was saying hates cancel culture. He has a problem, but, wrong this, wrong that. But here he's saying, I'm going to be honest with you. If you want to expose people for certain things, it's fine. So you're saying it's okay what happened, the action of what happened, right? But for you, racism is not a thing that you really care about enough for it to happen. So, yo, that's crazy. That's crazy. And then you further extend this thing. You're like, if you expose someone for the keyword, it looks really hard for you to make a brand for yourself. No proper teams or sponsors want to play with you. Whoa, that's a big statement. So you're saying teams would not want to play with people who have an issue with racism, Luca? Like, it seems you're very good in with the racists right now. So maybe you can help us out and tell us what these team owners are saying. Because it seems kind of sus when your org, Anarchy Gaming, is where you come from, Like with you saying this, there was already question marks about Anarchy Gaming, about them not wanting to hire players of colors and shit. And now you saying this after all the other things you said. I know nine members of Anarchy Gaming, only two of them still follow Zinc after what he did. This all seems kind of sus. It's pointing in a very early, funny direction. And now, like I was saying to the Punishers family or team, I don't know, I'm calling it family. Um, why don't you guys talk to your players, do this, do that? Who's actually going to talk to you in Anarchy Gaming? Because they're all white people in your organization. Who's going to know more than the dumb things you're saying? Like, maybe there's somebody there. I could be wrong. But this is like kind of the issue, right? So now, it's such a bad look on so many fronts here. Like, Luca, you have done yourself zero favors. And listen. I'm not saying this because I want to see you, quote on your favorite word, fucking cancelled and vanish from the scene or whatever. But I do want to see you get educated, because right now, you clearly don't know what the fuck you're talking about when it comes to racism. Let me make that very clear. Secondly, you are a member of this community with one of the largest voices. We saw Ray's tweet where he's talking all the good shit about how abhorrent the racism is, have like 25 likes, and your tweet saying, oh, but cancel culture is bad, have like 80 likes. Good for you. You've built your platform. Now use it for the right fucking reasons, not the sad boy, emo, racist defender shit, because it's terrible. Like, what value are you adding to the world? It's okay if you are one of those guys, like, there's not a shot at Neymar, but he's got there just plays Fortnite, all he focuses on Fortnite, and he's not saying anything. Sure, man's never pretended to be any other way. But you want to be here in this debate, in the drama, as people call it. You want to be talking and giving your opinions. I mean, you made so many fucking tweets throughout this process. But what value did you add in terms of combating racism? I can name 10 things. Well, I've just named 5 things or 100 things or whatever that you've done that fights against the opposite, like fights in favor of racism. But against it, you've really fallen short. And there's actually... Here's the tweet, and this is the last thing I'm going to have to say about Luca during this episode. And here's it. If you read my tweet, you'll see I'm against racism. Maybe open your eyes. It was all caps. Maybe I should have raised my voice for that. But Luca, the last thing I have to say for you is your own advice. Open your eyes and see yourself for what you are doing right now. I'm a very positive guy. I like to believe you don't actually want to be a racist piece of shit. You want to combat against these things. But right now, man oh man, you gotta open your fucking eyes and realize that yourself. The last part of my video now has to do with Tony and 5D Gaming, the other situation we spoke about at the get-go from the video. Another player called for racism, as I said earlier, said ultra white supremacist shit on clip, saying the N-word things, and that was that. I think the response to this thing seems to be a smaller response from the white community and the larger Fortnite community, but the people of color in the scene have really spoken up about this thing. We see the likes of Glenn speaking up. We see the likes of Sam Play speaking up. We've seen the likes of Shepo speaking up. So it's been getting dealt with much better. I don't know if I saw Ray say anything, but I think he had enough fucking emotional labor the day before already talking, or like for the situation before, so doesn't even need to say anything. He already did his part, but I'm pretty sure he did. Here's how the post looked when it came out. It was also another video clip, audio clip rather. So earlier I told you about the dumbest fucking thing I ever heard with Yannick's excuses afterwards, but the second dumbest thing comes from Fifth Dimension Gaming. So Fifth Dimension Gaming was the org that Mr. Tony played for, and Fifth Dimension's response when they saw literal white supremacist shit coming out of Tony's mouth in a clip, they're like, there's a video of Joe Biden saying the N-word repetitively on national TV from years ago. He's now the president of the US. People change. Okay, so they said this. Other people said people changed. You all want to know how long ago this clip was taken? 7 months ago. That a long time? No. Lockdown was fucking longer than 7 months, motherfuckers. There's also other clips from him from 3 months ago. People who play with him saying shit about him and stuff. And again, we don't even need all that other stuff. We don't even need to get into his apologies, but I will go make fun of it now. Because A-grade racism, it's not like low-tier racism. Same with the Yannick. This is like proper white supremacist shit. Like, it was a horrendous clip. Y'all can go on Twitter and listen to it if you want, if you have the stomach for that. But it was terrible. We don't need to debate whether this was good or bad or anything. We just need to fucking say no, stamp him out, and throw him out. Now, this situation is a bit different from the Yannick situation because, again, he was a competitive player. So now the conversation needs to become about community response, right? Not by community response, rather industry response. What are the TOs going to do? We see Nick Holden from ACGL already made a statement this morning saying, well, this morning time of recording again, saying that this shit is abhorrent. He's so sad to see what happening in the Fortnite ZA scene. Lots of words and apologies and shit thrown around, but we need to see some fucking actions, and he's 100% right. He also said on Twitter that they're investigating the situation, and him and the ACGL team are going to be looking to ban this player, and he's 100% right. I mean, TOs and community, and beyond just TOs, influencers, people of influence who have platforms and voices, there's a time to fucking talk up now. When SA Dota was going through the same fucking apocalypse of racism shit, y'all said fuck all. Nothing. Nick Holden's already jacked up his game from last time to this time, and he's ready to talk, he's ready to issue bans. What are the rest of you gonna do? And it's really important to do something. I'm not being a dick here. I'm being fucking honest, because the reason we are where we are today, again with racism, is a lot has to do with outside of esports, right? The history in South Africa is absolutely fucked. White supremacy in the world running wild, all that shit. But in the gaming industry, right, we are the leaders now. The people who are talking now, having voices, having things to say. We're not a big scene. We're not fucking the Barclays Premier League or anything. We just the small scene. So we're calling these people leaders, but they're just people who have been doing things for a long time. And us as the leaders have not done enough about racism, right? The fact that we're still having, in the 10, 15 years that esports in South Africa has existed, I've had this opinion the whole time, and I still hold it. We have not done enough. Because the fact that we still have to have conversations today, the Wraiths, the KCs, the Sam Blazers, the Sherpors, have to still be there saying that K-word is bad, we have to explain that shit, means that not enough work's been done. Genuinely fucking speaking. So we are directly now responsible for how the next generation in the scene is going to be thinking. We set the precedent of what's okay or not okay. We do not have the privilege of fucking it up again and having another 10 years wasted to racism in the scene. Because that's the reality, right? So what are we going to do? We see ACGL stepping up, issuing bans. I also think TOs, if you are issuing bans and stuff, we need to have conversations with the people of color. The people are hurt. Black people who have been harmed by this word need to be in this Discord calls saying what the ban should be. We can't from the outside fucking make decisions and calls and shit. We need to be talking to the people who do know. So that needs to happen. Bans do need to happen. We see Alex from EPS also being vocal, saying this shit's fucked up. He's not standing for racism. I'm sure he'll be doing something similar soon. Metal State, if y'all want to still be hosting Fortnite tournaments, you can't just take the good and say, haha, Kareem Khan, cool kid, winning tournaments. No, you need to fucking talk about the rough shit also to make a better community. VS Gaming, y'all are useless, but inshallah is all I'll say for you guys making a statement or something. Yeah. 80K Arena, y'all just ran a tournament. Even though the community was being brats towards y'all, and you guys kind of fucked up. Again, if you want to host tournaments, you need to issue bans, you need to issue statements. You can't just, we giving good money, we cool. You need to be there setting a good precedent for the scene. Not saying, yeah, let me not take shots here. But that's the point, guys. We have a responsibility, us, people with voices in the scene. We need to use it for the right fucking causes. Racism is not okay. That's not a hot take. That's facts. That's 2020. Be better, motherfuckers. Thank you all for listening. Goodbye.